going on, guys? Might be kind of loud with this. We live right by a naval base, so sometimes the fighter jets fly over, which is pretty cool, but it can be kind of loud, but still neat. Yeah, so happy Wednesday. Hello, another Wednesday, and it's awesome out here. I hear, I know that the weather's warming up everywhere, and that's a great question for Kelly Green to ask with kind of that in mind. So I'm going to jump into that and then kind of see where I ramble, because I have a couple ideas, and I think I want to kind of pump up one of these Wednesdays and tease you guys with, I think I want to do one whole episode. Do you call these episodes? I don't know. One whole what the what on my biggest macro secret, like what really set it off for me. So I'm going to throw that out there right now and tease it, and I'll have to pick a date to do that, but not yet because I got some other things in mind. But anyways, Kelly Green was asking about warmer weather and, what to do when you don't really feel like eating. I know a lot of times we get hot, if you're out at like a ball game or something like that, like you guys think about sitting out at like an MLB game and you're just freaking sweating and you just don't have an appetite, right? Yeah, so it happens to all of us. And kind of a couple things that come to mind, and one of them I went ahead and brought outside. They're supposed to stay frozen, so we'll see how hot it gets out here. But smoothie season. So smoothies are a difficult thing to come by in the right amount of macros, just because, think about it, it's loaded with a lot of sweet things. Like when you get a smoothie, you're most likely looking for bananas, and that they have juice in them and different things. I'm trying not to say things that are high volume, so hard to do. But they're normally pretty carbohydrate packed, right? So you can start now and go look up your favorite smoothie place, something that's close, and find something that really fits your macros. I know that Smoothie King has some like trim and light, where I think that they swap out a couple ingredients to help with that. They also have Greek yogurt smoothies. So, just like I say with all my clients, it's not about not going to Smoothie King, it's changing the order. It's not the habit of Smoothie King, it's the habit of what you order that can be changed. And there's some simple swaps and things like that you can do to really help yourself out. Anyways, or you can make them from home. So we've been huge smoothie makers for a long time, I think because Chuck and I get cheap from time to time, and we're like, I'm not going to go up to Smoothie King and pay $5, $6, $8 for a smoothie when I can make it at home, right? So Sam sells these awesome little Dole mixed fruits, and for 1 cup, which is 140 grams, you can see there are 16 carbohydrates in it. So 140 grams, granted it's frozen, is a pretty good amount of fruit, right? So we'll open up one of these, probably split it, to be honest with you, add ice, Greek yogurt of some sort, and protein powder. That's a common one that we do. I might splash some OJ in there. I know I do for Chuck because he can get away with the difference in carbs. OJ for him. For me, I might use like a Gatorade Zero packet or something like that to get some like different fruit juice in there and water, and just blend those all up. So think about it. If you put in Greek yogurt, you're hitting your protein. If you put in added protein, you're getting some more protein powder of some sort. You're taking in control your amount of carbohydrates by using a package like this. But anyways, so making them from home, super easy, blend it all up. It's a lot of the times things that you can look through your fridge and come up with. For any of you guys that have kids, if you have like a high C packet or I don't know, Capri Sun or something like that, like those could be pretty good to go in, as long as you kind of pay attention to how much. Ice in a Ninja, blend it up, and you're good to go. You've got your smoothie for the day. So a smoothie is a good one because, as much as I talk about don't drink your macros, if you're not hungry, now you're getting in a good amount of different items, and you can make it as packed as you want to, and it's refreshing, it's cold, it's calculated, and then maybe you do go to a Smoothie King and you really haven't been hungry, but the macros are a little bit higher, and that's when we talk about eating more dense items than high volume items. So you could have one Smoothie King that maybe knocks out 76 grams of your carbohydrates for the day, or you could have, 76 grams of straight raspberries would take you a long time, which is what I was also thinking. Fresh fruits and berries is a great one. Something that you can freeze on your own if you want to keep with a smoothie theme, or fruits and berries can be served chilled and cold and are delicious. I actually like to mix them with just vanilla Greek yogurt. I think it's bomb. It's something my family has done forever, that we just cut up fruits, whether that's strawberries, bananas, blueberries, anything like that, and just mix it in vanilla Greek yogurt, and it is so good just by itself. You don't have to do anything else to it. And what else? I guess, yeah, so that's about kind of my recommendations on cold foods. Salads is another great one, but I have my campaign, Make Salads Healthy Again. So just pay attention to how many fats are on it, because think about it. Normally it's a bed of lettuce, which is like nothing, right, in the macro spend. But then they like to put eggs and nuts and dressing and cheese on it. So right there, right off the bat, you have I'll switch my fingers, 4 different fat sources right there. You might have a little bit of chicken, which is kind of some protein, but you need to really take and pick apart, what is my one fat for this meal? So something refreshing, but if you end up packing yourself full of fat, might not be as good for you in the long run, or as easy to fit in. The other thing is also thinking about what's coming up in your day that is going to make you hot, and maybe working in bigger meals outside of that. So if you're going to your kid's softball game, or that you are working a job outside for the day, maybe you work outside in construction or whatever you do, think about not trying to force feed yourself during that time frame. So if you're not picking something that's cold, or you don't have a chance to do it, have a heartier breakfast and then don't eat during that period. Or plan to go to dinner after the game, but know that it's going to be something on the lighter side for you, something that doesn't really bog you down, fill you up, you feel gross, you don't really want anything. So I think that's a big point that I constantly try to make, is rather than look at the obstacle and being like, I'm hot, I don't want to eat, stepping back and saying, okay, when I get hot, I normally don't want to eat, so I want to fill in the blank. It's not looking at something being hard and not being able to get through it, but seeing, I love when Dr. Lindsay says, the obstacle is sometimes the way. Okay, so I get hot, so the way to get around that is fill in how it works for you. Looking at different ways of changing the mindset from seeing a blockade and seeing an open door through a different way of going about it. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, guys, if you, what other kind of thing? I think, triggers to me are like, people are going to want ice cream and beer and things like that, which is fine. If you want to plug that in, if that's something for you that you want to do ahead of time, but protect yourself by knowing that when you get hot, when you're at a ball game, when you're in a certain situation, that's your trigger. Put that in first and then work around it. Change the way that you think about something. And that's something that our coaches are really good at doing, of saying, okay, you mentioned this over and over again. How about we look at it this way? How about we go into it with this perspective? What if you eat, a bread and sandwich, because that seems to be lighter and cooler feeling than oatmeal in the morning? Maybe you move your carbohydrates up for that. Maybe you can pack a smoothie on the road. Maybe you make them at home, because every time you grab one out, it blows your carbs out of the water. Or, hey, here's the link to the Smoothie King, the tropical smoothie, wherever menu. Let's look and see, what one is going to fit for you, or how you can build your own to get through it. So thinking differently by listing out the things that might catch you up and making a different plan for it. So hope that helps, Kelly Green. And that same train of thought can be applied to a lot of different scenarios. So think about, weekends, parties, unplanned events, things like that. Step back from it and say, okay, what can I do to make this happen? Controlling the controllables, right? So then kind of leading into what's going to be happening the next week. So maybe you guys haven't noticed, but it's got on my food radar. as the nudist in the lead nudist in here, that Cinco de Mayo is next Wednesday. So I've actually thrown it out to the coaches. I'm like, yo, I know all of us like Mexican, so I'm going to ask you to get ahead of the game and come up with some of your favorite Mexican meals, so that maybe we can get thinking about how not to let next Wednesday ruin your day, right? You're like, oh, I want to go out for Mexican and margaritas and things like that. Cool. Let's get ahead of it. Rather than look at that as an obstacle and like, well, every Cinco de Mayo, I just blow all my macros out of the water. How about we say, oh, okay, there's a good idea. So you guys, if you follow me in my stories, we do Mexican at least once, if not twice a week. And Chuck's going to find out that to put all this content together for you guys, we're probably going to have it a couple more times, but it's not the worst. We're going to put some ideas out there for you. So if you have any particular dishes, maybe you guys want to jump in on this, you found something that's super macro friendly and you want to throw it out there, I would love that. You know, I only have a couple tools in my belt, not that fancy. So go ahead and throw it out there, and be on the lookout for that. So I know that we have a couple people, a couple of the coaches have already thrown out their ideas, and we'll see what else we come up with, because whoever knows what comes out of my kitchen. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but shut up and eat it. It's kind of my way about it. But cool. All right, so be on the lookout for that. Let us know if you have any particular things or ideas yourself on things you want to see for Cinco de Mayo, and we'll try and see what we can do. Maybe we've had it, maybe we haven't, maybe we got an idea, maybe we don't. I don't know. Throw it out there. All right, guys, thanks for a short What the What Wednesday, but go look at Obstacle is the Way, make a plan around it, and let us know if you guys want any help. You know, our coaches are around and waiting. We'd love to get you guys on board. So have a good rest of your day. See ya.